Harriet and Angela, good to see both of you. So, look, Angela, you say it's a big no-no.
Yeah, I'm afraid I have a zero-tolerance approach to this, which isn't always too helpful for the kids. I can sometimes see there's a juddering knee under the table. Either they've got it on secretly or it's just kind of withdrawal symptoms. But I think it kills conversation. I think family meal times, such as they are now, and there's lots of research say people don't even have dinner tables. They sit and eat their dinner on a tray in front of the telly. I think if you have got everybody around the table, for example, which is such a luxury anyway, not time-poor daily existence, then why not use that time to debrief, to talk to each other, to see how things go? I used to have this thing called, you know, can I hear your school news, which sounds, I mean, my kids will be cringing if they're watching, because my youngest is 11, but my elder two are now at university, and I've got another one at home who's 16, and I still want to know what they've been up to, and I really hate it. And I hate it when it's just my husband and I, you know. I get really upset if I see couples in restaurants and they're both sitting on their phones. It completely disables all communication.
Harry, it's an important point, isn't it? We do so little talking these days. We're all so wedded to our phones and our devices. Surely dinner time should be sacrosanct, and it should be a great opportunity, as Angela said, to share the day's news without the distraction.
I agree. I agree. In general, nobody likes the idea of everybody sitting doing their own little gadgets because you don't get to communicate. However, as a parent, I just think sometimes you have to choose your battles, and you can't always be totally didactic and saying yes or no. There are occasions where sometimes a gadget can be helpful. If you're in a restaurant, it's late, you're abroad, maybe dinner's a later timing, and the children are getting a little bit fractious, tired. 10 minutes of the two of them together watching a bit of Scooby-Doo, is that really going to do so much harm?
Because at that point, sometimes you're wanting to speak an adult conversation, aren't you?
Yes.
So it gives you that moment to do that.
Well, the problem, yeah, you're right, but the problem is with younger children in particular is that, you know, when you start shifting the goalposts around, they don't really understand, well, is it acceptable or isn't it acceptable? Because on the one hand, well, they can say, well, you know, it was great when we were in Spain because you said that we could watch Scooby-Doo. But when you're at home, you say that the rules are completely different. And I think the problem is that also, on a broader sense, that we're growing up culturally to understand that it's okay to not communicate directly with each other. Everything is done via a screen. And I think it's a tremendous shame because we're losing the art of conversation. We're losing the art of being able to communicate with each other. Just talk about how do you feel, picking up the emotional kind of responses from each other.
It's an important point, though, isn't it, Harry? Because the thing that we all talk about whenever we're talking about parenting is consistency. You've got to be consistent.
It's true. However, I do think that we're so brainwashed into thinking that technology is the big bad enemy. And actually there's quite a lot of stuff that my kids do, not all the time, you know, we're balanced. They read, they play, they run around, but they also do some quite fun things on the internet. You know, they do a game called Quiz Up, which is an educational game.
But
they do mathletics.
Well.
Not generally. I wouldn't like it all the time.
But Andrew, that's what they're interested in.
Yeah, look, technology...
So, you were saying, well, let's hear about what you're up to. That's could well be your child's passion.
Well, maybe it is.
So you might be, you know, that you might be talking to them about that.
Well, let's talk about it as opposed to, you know, rather than show and tell. I mean, you know, technology is neutral. It's what you do with it that makes it a good thing or a force for evil. And I just think it's a shame. There are lots of things that you want to hear about and talk about, and it's so easy for it to become the, you know, the all omnipresent babysitter.
The default setting.
And if you are going for a meal in a restaurant and stuff, well, why take them to a restaurant if you're not going to use that opportunity to sit and have family time?